Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID?
Well, that is not what we say to the public. No. Don't tell anyone this building. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. You probably shouldn't tell anyone, okay? Yeah. We're exploring, like, now, you know how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is, like, why don't we just mutate it ourselves so we could create immediately develop new vaccines, right? So we have to do that. If we're going to do that, though, there's a risk of, like, as you could imagine, no one wants to be having a pharma company mutating viruses. To be, like, very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something that, like, you know, it goes everywhere.
Something crazy.
Is the way that the virus started and moving on. To be honest, like it makes no sense that this virus popped out of nowhere. Like,
yeah, I know. Gain of function to me.
I don't know. It's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's like it's definitely not gain of function.
It sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay.
No. Directed evolution is very different. Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research with the viruses. Like,
yeah,
they recommend not. But you do like these like selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research ongoing about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. There better not be any more outbreaks. Just like Jesus Christ. It's a revolving door for all government officials. It's pretty good for the industry, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's bad for everyone else in America.
Why is it bad for everybody else?
Because if the regulators who have to approve our drugs know that once they stop being regulated, they want to come work for the company, they're not going to be as hard for the company. They're doing their job. We're exploring, like, now, you know how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is, like, why don't we just mutate it ourselves so we could create immediately develop new vaccines, right? So we have to do that. If we're going to do that, though, there's a risk of, like, as you could imagine, no one wants to be having a pharma company mutating viruses.
Yeah.
So we're like, do we want to do this? So that's like one of the things we're considering.
Okay.
Like the future, like maybe we can like create new versions of the vaccines and things like that.
Okay, so Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID?
Well, that is not what we say to the public. No. That's why it was a thought that came up at a meeting, and we were like, why do we not? It was like, we're going to consider that with more discussions.
Okay.
That exact reaction, right? We're like, wait a minute, like, people won't like that. So the way that we're thinking about it, don't tell anyone this building. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. You probably shouldn't tell anyone, okay? Okay, bro. So, the way it would work is, like, we put them in the virus in these monkeys.
Okay.
And then we successively, like, cause them to keep infecting each other. And we collect serial samples from them, and then the ones that are more infectious, like the virus, we'll put them in another monkey, and you just constantly actively mutate it. That's one way. Okay. Or you can even do, like, directed, like, simulation, which, like, we should not prefer. And then you just sample what the different, proteins on the surface of the virus look like over time. Okay. So then you can see the mutation, and you can kind of force it to mutate in a certain way you want. Okay. But you have to be, like, very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something that, like, you know, it goes everywhere.
Something crazy.
Is the way that the virus started and moving on. To be honest, like, it makes no sense that this virus popped out of nowhere. Like,
yeah, I know. So, I mean, when is Pfizer going to implement the mutation of all these viruses?
I don't know. It depends on how the experiments work out. Because this is just like something that's dying, right?
It sounds like gain of function to me.
I don't know. It's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's like it's definitely not gain of function.
It sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay.
No. Directed evolution is very different.
Direct evolution?
Directed evolution.
Directed evolution. Okay. Well, so I mean, is that what it is?
Maybe. Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research with the viruses. Like, yeah, they recommend not. But you do like these like selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make more potent. Yeah. So there is research ongoing about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. There better not be any more outbreaks. Just like Jesus Christ.
So, tell me more. Like, what's developing with the whole, virus mutation process?
Mm-hmm. Well, they're still kind of conducting the experiments on it, but it seems like from what I've heard, they're kind of optimizing it, but they're going slow. They were very cautious, right. Obviously, they don't want to kind of accelerate it too much. Yeah. But I think they're also just trying to do it as an exploratory thing, because you obviously don't want to advertise that you're trying to figure out future mutations.
Right. So, did the whole virus mutation thing come from your executive, Sarah?
No. That came from, we have, chief scientific officers in, the other divisions.
In a subsequent meeting, our undercover journalist asked if this type of gain-of-function research is already being studied at Pfizer. But no, as long as it's called directed evolution, Pfizer's in the clear.
What's the goal for Pfizer of doing that?
So part of what they want to do is, to try to figure out, to some extent, there's all these new strains of variants that just pop up. Why don't we try to like catch them before they pop up in nature, and we can develop a vaccine prophylactic for like new variants.
Yeah.
So that's why they're thinking like if you do it control in the lab, then you say, oh, this is an epitope, and so then if it comes out later on, like in the public, we already have a vaccine kind of working on it.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Like, isn't that the best business model though? Like, just control nature before nature even happens itself, right?
Yeah. If it works.
What do you mean if it works?
Because like some of the times there were just mutations that pop up, right? And we're not prepared for it, like with Delta or Omicron,
Right.
and things like that. So who knows? I mean, either way, it's gonna be a cash cow. COVID will probably be a cash cow for us for a while going forward. Like,
Yeah.
I obviously like.
Well, I think the whole, like research of the viruses and mutating it, like, would be the ultimate like cash cow.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.